The service providers are really starting to embrace Wi-Fi in general, and they're doing this through an affiliated network of Wi-Fi hotspots. What they're offering to their customers is that there's easier connections, there may be authentication associated with it, but the SP doesn't actually have to manage or own the hotspots as a part of this process. So two of these companies that are offering affiliated network of hotspots is Boingo.com and Phone.com. So Boingo, what they're trying to do is get an affiliated network between the service providers. AT&T and BT are two of the big companies that are affiliated with them. And Boingo Wireless does offer something like 350,000 hotspots across the world. So a second network is Phone.com, and what they are trying to do is get an affiliated network of home users who will offer guest access to their networks, and in exchange, those users will be able to use other people's networks as well. Now, in the process, there may be some payments through advertising that get fed back to these customers. But in the end, Phone.com is really trying to offer this global network of home users, and they do offer over 3 million hotspots worldwide at this point. North America still accounts for about 50% of the enterprise market, with EMEA accounting for about 30% of the market, and APAC accounting for most of the remaining 20%. Even up until this point, the education and the healthcare verticals have been really important to the enterprise marketplace. And a lot of this is due to the benefit of government subsidies that have been pouring into these marketplaces. General enterprise market segment has been growing as people want to use their smartphones and tablets in the business space. And the IT directors have been responding to this demand from their end users. What this has done is it's led to more deployments in the general enterprise, and the benefit for the wireless LAN companies is that the seasonality that we've seen in the marketplace has been diminished, or it's been more evenly spread throughout the year. The education and healthcare education market in particular has been spread mainly in Q2 and Q3 over the summer when deployments happen and the kids are no longer in school. So with the rise of general enterprise, we expect that the seasonality is going to be spread more evenly, and this will be a benefit for the wireless LAN vendors. Within the enterprise space, Aruba and HP have really been growing the fastest over the last year. Both of them have been picking up market share, and they have both grown over 60% on a year-over-year basis, Q1 2010 versus Q1 2011. The next vendor that's been a very large grower has been Cisco. Now, Cisco is a very large player within the wireless LAN space, and they grew 21% in revenue year over year. One thing with Cisco is they are so large that it's very hard for the overall market to grow at a much different rate than Cisco. So the overall market was also up at about the same 21% that Cisco was. Rounding out the top 5 vendors, Motorola Solutions and Maru were both actually down on a year-over-year basis. Now, within these particular companies, 4 out of 5 of them are very strong in the North America region. So as I mentioned previously, North America accounts for about 50% of the revenue with wireless LAN. So 4 out of these 5 are very strong, with over 45% of the revenue coming from the North America region. The one exception to this is HP. HP only gets about 1/4 of their revenue from North America, and they get a majority of their revenue from the APAC region. Over the last year, HP's growth has been in China within the APAC region, and a lot of that is due to their recent buyout about a year ago of 3Com and H3C, and they've really seen a rise of China and those particular products. Over the past couple of years, we've talked a lot about 802.11n as the technology that's been rising within the marketplace. And .11n is now approaching 100% penetration within the various markets. In the SOHO market, it's virtually at 100%, especially within wireless routers. And for the enterprise market, we expect .11n to reach 100% sometime next year. So we're getting pretty close to the endpoint for that particular technology. However, with .11n comes a lot of diversification within the products. Many companies have recently introduced products that are single radio and single band. targeting the value end or the lower end portion of the market. And on the higher end of the market, we see products with 3 spatial streams being introduced. What 3 spatial streams will do is help boost the link speed by about 50% over the previous high-end products that we've seen. And theoretically, 3 spatial streams will get you up to 450 megabits per second. Coming over the next year or so, we'll start to see even higher end products being introduced in the market. 802.11ac and 802.11ad are 2 of these technologies that we'll start to see. And both of these boast link speeds that will exceed 1 gigabit per second and maybe as high as 6 or 7 gigabits per second. .11ac will do this by leveraging the same frequency bands that we utilize today, mainly the 2.4 gigahertz band and the 5 gigahertz band. 802.11ad will help bring a new frequency band to wireless LAN, which is the 60 gigahertz frequency spectrum.